Yes. So now we come to Israel, and where do we live? We moved to Ein Kerem, a village in the outskirts of Jerusalem, the place where John the Baptist was born. See, and this is a village where Mary came rushing up to Elizabeth, you know.
Yes.
And we had our office on that street by Mary's well. So now I think, okay, Mary's everywhere here. I have, I realize now by this time that I don't know what the Catholics teach about Mary. I presume I know, but now I think, no, I don't. I really don't. I have to find out.
When you live in the Swedish society, you have a certain outlook, of course. Everybody does, wherever you come from. And so socially, historically, I would say even politically, and theologically, we had a certain mindset when it came to the Catholic Church. So we kind of thought that this is what they are, this is what they teach. But what we did find out at that time was that most of these things are just prejudices. We really didn't know.
Yeah.
And that's what we were starting to find out, that we didn't know.
Yeah. So Saint Birgitta really helped me to go further and find out more about Mary. And we started to read books about Mary. And I thought, okay, now I'll read Catholic books. Of course, now I need to read Catholic books about Mary, to be fair, and get to know what the Church teaches. And that, of course, revolutionized our thinking.
Because, and you said that many times, that we felt sometimes we were treated wrong by the media, or they didn't understand where we came from. And how can secular media understand anyway? Yeah. And maybe other Christians sometimes said things about us, and we felt we could explain this, but you're not even listening.
Exactly.
But we felt that
I'm doing the same thing with the Catholics. I'm behaving like that. And I felt ashamed.
Yeah, we did.
So that's why I devoured books about Mary. And there were, of course, certain things about Mary that are difficult first for a Protestant to understand.
Right.
About her perpetual virginity, her immaculate conceptions, two very important things.
Right.
But actually, I read Scott Hahn's book and many others. And when I saw and I understood the explanation of the Immaculate Conception, because I was thinking, no Protestant has explained to me how Jesus, the second person in the Trinity, can become man without being polluted by sin. If Mary is just a normal girl.
Right.
She would carry, the stain of sin into him. And nobody in the Protestant world really talks about this. And it was something that I had to understand, because I knew that Jesus is the Lamb of God, and he's totally, of course, without sin.
Well, it's a very important Christological question.
Yeah.
And when we found out that Mary is really Christology in one way, it opened up also for us to be more open. And to understand her role that we hadn't understood, because basically, Protestant circles, you mention Mary once a year and only two sentences.
Christmas.
Christmas, quick, and then on.
And sometimes we'll have a statue of Mary out there in the nativity set, but we don't believe in statues.
No,
there's a statue of Joseph and Mary. What's that doing there? But it seems like one of the key things is, as Protestants, when we thought about Mary, about how Catholics thought about Mary, we were always assuming that they were focusing on Mary. But we didn't realize that the Catholic Church teachings about Mary is about Jesus.
Yes,
exactly.
It's always about Jesus.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And when we saw this so clear, and how actually Mary enhances and protects the humanity and divinity of Jesus, it became very evident how central Mary is to our faith. And that opened up for us to not be so afraid. And but we're still a bit nervous about this. But the strange thing is, because we've met converts, and many converts, and many of them, and also on your program I've heard it, that Mary maybe is the last thing.
Often.
But for us it was the opposite.
Yeah, we had to understand this.
Yeah.
Otherwise we couldn't go further. But so she was the main hindrance. But we had to find out. And when we did, and when we understood it, the puzzle came together.
Yes, very much so.
Of course, there were more things to find out, but this was a very, very central thing that made it come together.
Yeah.